Hey gang, this is Alan with ClemHillAdventures. I would like to show y'all some of the inner workings of our converted cargo trailer. Figure we'll start off with some of the front plumbing and the charging system for the 12 volt. Right now we're using 4 of the 35 amp hour AGM batteries. Our pure sine wave inverter is actually not hooked up to anything to give us power. I do have it hooked to the batteries. Everything's ready to go, just haven't had the time to finish that up. That is our charge controller. You see we have very little sunlight outside right now, but it still pulls a charge. We are using the Harbor Freight solar panels. We have 2 of the 100 watt sets. They have served us pretty well. We have not had any issues other than we stayed one camping spot that we were there for 3 days and there was no sun. It was in the middle of a valley. After that, ended up having to do a little charging from the vehicle to get the batteries up because everything in the camper is 12 volt. That's what that charger is, which is another Harbor Freight item, which worked out pretty well. If I remember right, it was like 30 or 40 bucks, and it kept the batteries charged enough for us to keep the fan running, to keep it cool in the trailer, and to keep the lights going. That is our 12 volt pump for the water. You see the way I have it hooked up. Turn some light on here. The way I have it hooked up, that line going through the wall right there actually goes to a hose bib outside. So on that, I can take and have just shore water, city water pressure. I can just shut off the 2 isolation valves, well, 3 isolation valves. That's the one coming from the pump, the one going to the pump, and the one that ties the pump system and the city water system together. Now, what I can do is I can actually fill my freshwater tank at that point. I just shut off the isolation valves and open up that middle valve right there, and I can fill my tank with that. Now, I do not have a separate drain for the tank, and I'll show you when I get back around to the tank how we empty the tank when we need to, but we just use that pump to do it. I do not have my hot water hooked up yet. I am exploring options. I'm not sure what way I want to go with that yet. Right now we're kind of thinking about going with the little portable, I want to say it's a 3.5 gallon per minute propane water heater, and we'll just do that in a tank, and I'll actually set 2 hose bibs up outside, and I can hang the tank outside and make it to where I can just disconnect from the hose bibs and move the trailer when we need to. That is just a little fuse block we got from Amazon. That gives us all of our power ports to be able to hook up lights and everything else, pump, stuff of that nature. We are planning on adding more batteries and more solar, and once again we are just going to go with the solar panels from Harbor Freight because they seem to work pretty well. Haven't had any problems. As long as we have sunlight, we have charged batteries, and everything works. That is our remote for the charge controller. Most of the time it's smiling at us. When we were on that one little trip where it killed the batteries and we had to get that charger, that was the one time it gave us the sad face. That is actually the switch for the pump, which if I hit that, you can hear the pump run. And that is the remote on off for the inverter. I have them both set up on the wall right here above what's going to eventually be a complete kitchen. We are planning on putting a sink right here, and that will give us the sink for the camper. Right now we are just using the valve in the shower because I bought a tub and shower valve so we would have a place to wash our hands, brush our teeth and stuff like that until I was able to get the sink in. You can see all that. Now on our freshwater tank, the way I have this set up is that's our incoming line, so that would be coming from city water. So I can shut off those isolation valves, fill the tank up right here. This valve at the top I'd shut off when I'm filling the tank, so that valve would be shut off, and then I would open that valve up, and once the tank is full, water will push out through the bottom through the floor, and I can see it that it's full from the outside. Now when I do have it full, I shut that valve off, and then I turn that valve on, so when the pump is running, I don't create a vacuum issue. So this allows air into the top, which I have to put a screen on that. Like I said, we're not quite finished with everything, but that allows me to put a screen on the top of that, open this valve, and when I open that valve, it allows air into the system to where the pump doesn't have to fight and compress the tank and drag. So it actually allows air in, so it doesn't airlock on me. On the air conditioner, and I wish I would have got this beforehand, most people don't seem to see how the system works. On the back end, you actually have an intake and an exhaust, and I'm going to go around to the outside, but basically what I did was right here in this wall, I've actually got this wall sealed. Everything is sealed around with foam board to give me a seal. It also helps with noise. I also have it sealed from the back of the unit all the way around to where the exhaust coming out of the coils in the back exhausts out, and then I've got a separate intake for the intake to allow air to come across the coils from the inside. So basically it brings cooler air in to blow across the coils to make the unit work more efficiently. If you basically just have one hole and you have it running, you know, I've seen a lot of people do cut a hole in the floor, set it low, and they just have a hole in the floor and it's using the same exhaust and intake. You're basically taking the hot air that you're pushing across your condenser coils and you're pulling it back up and pushing it across again. So you're working, but you're not as efficient as you could be. And let me walk around to the outside and show y'all how that's set up. Okay, so let's see if we can see it through the screen. But on this side here, see there is a divider right here. This divider, so if you kept pan back on it, this is my intake side. So it pulls cool air in while it's exhausting the hot air out. You do get a little bit of a mix this way. This was just the easiest way for me to do it, to where it was hidden and it also functioned close to how it's supposed to. That is our bathroom exhaust fan. It's just a little pop out button, hit it and it exhausts out really good. We don't have any issues there. That is my freshwater fill and also city water connection. So like I said, I can isolate valves on the inside to where that is the only water port I have to have. I don't have a filler or anything else. That is where I fill my tank, empty my tank and everything. So basically when I want to empty my tank, I leave that vent right there open, and then I shut off. I shut this valve right here off, which is the one that I use to fill the tank. I shut that valve off and open the two valves down here, and when I can open that hose bib on the outside, and when I kick that pump on, it will empty the tank. It may leave about half of a gallon in the bottom of the tank once everything's said and done, but it does remove just about all of the water. And it eliminates me from having an extra valve that I have to worry about something else freezing or anything like that, so we don't have to worry about any of that. All right. Now that bunch of wires coming down right there, that is coming from the solar panels up top, comes in, ties to this junction. As you can see, we bought this so we'd have enough room to be able to add another 600 watts of solar to that, because each of those little 4 sets from Harbor Freight, they are 100 watts each. Now like I said, right now we've been pretty good with that. I think we are going to add another 6 batteries to the system. Those batteries are these batteries are 35 amp hours each. We got them for $100 per 2, around that. I think it was like $90 to $100 per 2. So we're going to get some more of those. We got those online. And we're going to add the other batteries, and I'm going to set them up all in the front because I wanted to have more tongue weight in the front to where the trailer pulls a little better. So come back around here and take a look at some of the plumbing underneath. Right now we're just using portable tanks. And what I did was I just went and got an adapter from Camping World and put on the one for the toilet, and we drop that into a tank by itself, and then that is for the shower. Basically just have the trap set up there. I just slip a piece in there and it dumps into another small tank that we have. Like I said, it is just portable tanks, so I can just go dump them. Eventually I am going to put a tank that will fit. I'm going to make a tank that'll fit between the rails all the way across for the toilet, just because the having to do anything with that after the tank is full is kind of a pain, because picking a 30-gallon tank full of mess basically is kind of a pain to do. So we're just going to get a tank for that. I'll probably still use the portable tank for the shower and the sink, which they will be tied together eventually. So that is kind of the inner workings of our trailer. Now I do have this front cover, which I'm going to show y'all how we did. Grab some tools and open it up so you can see it. Hold on. Okay guys, I wanted to do a little video on this front cover for the front window of the travel trailer. It is just a temporary cover, but I want to show how it was made. So this is some stainless steel that I had off of some stainless steel piping. I just popped the rivets on the piping, pulled the stainless steel off and flattened it out, and then took and used a sheet metal brake to bend the corners to give us to make it rigid, as sheet metal on its own is just pretty floppy. So I did that all the way around. And then what I did was I took the piano hinge that comes on the back of the trailer. Let me prop this up. Like I said, this is all temporary, so we just have this prop to prop this up, where we have use of the window. The piano hinge, it actually came with the trailer. They have a board on the back of the ramp that makes the transition from the ground to the ramp a little better, so I just took that hinge and cut it in half, attached it to that 1x, and just attached this cover to that 1x. As you see, it does what it needs to do. It stops any rocks from getting up onto the window when we're driving and traveling, and then we just open it up. Eventually I am going to build some diamond plate like the front of those. I'm going to take and cover all of the windows with the diamond plate. And we'll do a video when we do that. And I said that was just temporary because we were kind of cutting into our vacation. I just needed to get on the road. So you can see how that is. But yeah, I am going to put covers on all the windows just for privacy, and also when we open the windows, it'll when we pull those covers up, it'll give a shade on the windows, help keep some of the sun out, because we would prefer to be in sun because of the solar panels up there. But yeah, other than that, once we do get all that taken care of, we'll have a video on that also. And also with this stuff on the inside, we have cabinets and stuff we still need to build and make the cabinets, along with a ladder to get into the bed, because the bed is kind of high. But we will have videos on all that. Thank you.
Alrighty guys, this is Sarah with ClemHillAdventures. We tried to give as much detail as possible. These details are only for example purposes. If we have anything that we missed that you would like more information about, please comment and let us know, and we'll see about making a video on that. Please like and share our channel, and click subscribe when you want to know when we have new adventures out. Thanks guys. Have an awesome day.